Yeah, I'm broke now, and I hate it. I know that's taboo for me to even be a man these days, and even speaking out loud about that. Like our culture is so rooted in showing examples of how, and to a certain extent, I highly agree, but showing how important it is for how attractive, how masculine it is for a man to be financially stable. But what I need to do for myself, I think I've really been putting a lot of intention lately in my life on operating off of, I call them the 3 A's, which is acknowledgement, acceptance, and then action or acting on it. The fact that I've reached like the status of being broke, that's a fact right now. Like that's an objective truth. But also what I need to take into accountability, or what I need to take into consideration, is that a lot of people reach like right where I am right now. People who are in places that I want to be in has been where I am right now. Now it might be hard to believe that, especially because of the way that pop culture is set up right now. Like everything is about big bank take little bank essentially. Like whoever got the most money, whoever got the most ability to flex or shine on somebody else, like that's the people that pop culture puts on a pedestal and projects as the ideal image of, how life should be lived. And because of that, it's easy to forget, or it's easy to get caught up in being in a rush. Well, I don't want to put being in a rush in a negative light, because this is like, when financial situations get dire, you do gotta have some sense of urgency. So I don't want to say that I don't necessarily want to talk about being in a rush, but society will have you thinking that what I'm going through right now, being broke as a man, society will have you thinking that once you get there, that it's curtains, because they don't necessarily glorify or glamorize this part of the journey of becoming your best self. And let's face it, I mean, especially as a man, part of becoming your best self is becoming financially stable in this world. Like, I don't care how you dice it up. I grew up in an age where they really pushed that whole, like, money ain't everything, or money can't buy you happiness, which, to a certain extent, like, I agree. But money sure in the hell means a lot more than some of us was led on to believe that it actually does. And so I say all that to say that part of being your best self is also being financially stable. And right now, because of the state that I'm in, that I got myself in, I do get caught up in that. I get caught up in that gray area of giving myself or having a sense of urgency to fix it, but also not feeling too pressured from the norms that society is setting right now on what it means to be a man. Because at the end of the day, that's like I ain't gonna lie. That gets to me. That gets to me in a major way. Me having to acknowledge and accept the fact that I'm broke right now. Like what? This never was how it was supposed to be for me where I'm at right now. I mean, according to the laws of the universe, I guess, if you was meant to be is gonna be, or you know that saying that people say when it's just this is just how it's supposed to be. If you using that logic, then yeah, I guess this is how it's supposed to be for me right now. But if I'm talking about how I saw it, and even how I see it right now in my mind of where I should be, this ain't it. But I also can't hide this part from myself. I can't be in denial about this part of the journey because, or in order to protect my ego from being hurt by the societal norms of what a man is supposed to be, or what financial status a man is supposed to be. Like it's easy to get caught up in feeling, or it's easy to feel the pain from that. But I gotta make sure that I'm intentional about not being in denial about it, so that I can acknowledge it. And once I acknowledge it, I gotta accept it as truth. And once I accept it as truth, I gotta take action. And so as taboo as this is for me to like this ain't no cry for help or nothing like that. Like I'm gonna find a way out of the situation that I'm in right now. Cause in the past I've had ups and downs, but this is the downest down that when I'm talking financially. Like this is the downest down I've had financially. But I'm gonna get out of it for sure. So this ain't no like pity party or nothing like that. And it's not even a cry for help necessarily. This is me. For one, ideally, I'm gonna be able to look back at this video a year from now and be able to see how far I've come from the time that I'm making this to fast forward a year from now to where I've like worked my way out of the situation that I'm in right now. But also, this gives me an opportunity to vent and to use me saying it out loud as motivation to do something about it, but also as motivation to not feel ashamed, to bring awareness to the fact that this is a reality for a lot of us. But a lot of us haven't been able to do enough work on ourselves to have like the mental, to have the spiritual fortitude and tenacity to not be ashamed to admit that you're in a situation that's not ideal or that don't make you look good. It took a lot for me to turn this camera on as a man and say, you know what, I'm broke. Especially, like I said, especially either it's in the music, it's in the memes, it's everywhere. Men like me right now, financially, we the butt of all the jokes. You know what I'm saying? We getting clowned big time. Like it's not hip to be. It ain't hip to be broke for nobody. But especially right now, like, man, listen, it's hard. It's hard for me to tap into certain mainstream media or pop culture right now because that almost be tapping into my insecurities about being broke because so much is said about, or so much negative is said about men who are in the position that I'm in. But I can't let that phase me either. And I'm finally at the point where I can objectively point out the fact that the truth is I'm broke. But subjectively, how I feel about that is way different now than it would have been before. Because in the past, not only would I had to deal with the insecurities of constantly hearing the messages about how unappealing it is to be a broke man right now, I also wouldn't have had the mental strength to be able to keep my composure, to motivate myself to get out of it. But now I could be in this space where I don't like, hey, if you judging my value to this world or my character based on my financial status, then you know what? I don't even care if I was a billionaire to know that that's how like my character is being judged by, you know, an individual. All that do is let me know that that ain't the type of person that I should be concerned with their opinions anyway, because our values don't align. Because I don't judge people based on their financial status, and, you know, and I'm not knocking people who do judge people based on their financial status. Everybody different. All I'm saying is that it takes a lot to be open about stuff like this. And I just want to take time to acknowledge how much like I've been able to grow, especially from going through therapy, by being open about this and documenting it with the hopes that somebody else out there might be in a similar situation as me, but might not have to feel as bad about it, because you know that you ain't alone in it. And that as long as you make the decision to act on what you already accepted and acknowledged, then you could get yourself out of any situation you got yourself into. And yeah, you might have to deal with the embarrassment of being the butt of all the jokes right now about being a broke man, a broke woman, broke anybody. But don't shield yourself from the truth of what it is. If that's the case, if that's your truth, your reality, acknowledge it, accept it, and then act on it. That's just what we gotta do. And I hope that if you don't feel like you have the mindset yet to have enough strength to do it that way, I ain't never gonna not encourage somebody to seek out like therapy and stuff. Cause that done changed my life in so many ways. And I wouldn't be able to talk like the way that I'm talking right now, openly about such a taboo topic, had it not been for me consistently going to therapy. So, man, I hope this helps somebody. Alright, let me go be productive and find more ways to get myself out of this situation that I'm in right now. Alright.